In many cases, the truth is scarier than fiction. In the ancient world, mythology was just as important as the actual historical records, because the mythology spoke to levels of reality that were beyond the phenomenal plane. Horus, Osiris. Osiris was known as the Lord of the Perfect Black, which is interesting because the Washington Monument is a big black dick. That's Osiris. The obelisk is Osiris's penis, the part that Isis could not find of his body when it was split into 14 pieces. And according to mythology, it was eaten by a catfish in the Nile when Typhon, his brother, cut his body up, And so it's interesting about that story because Horus is Osiris, because Horus is Osiris' seed who came back to avenge his father. And so in a sense his father was coming back through his posterity to avenge his life, his legacy. When I look at the images of the Titanic, it's actually scarier to me than any scary movie I've ever seen, because I'm actually looking at something that was above water at one time, and I'm actually looking at something that's actually dormant, just sitting at the bottom of the fucking ocean. Something that was arrogantly thought to be unsinkable. How long has America been in existence? (1776). Talking less than 300 years. And half of the American Titanic, allegorically speaking, is in the water,
submerged,
of karmic debt. A boat, a country that was probably at one time thought to never to be able to be sunk. In the Bible, America is referred to as the virgin daughter of Babylon. And the reason it says virgin is because, like the Titanic, America is not going to be sunk by an outside enemy. No submarine or something sunk or sank the Titanic. The Titanic was sunk by arrogance. They said 1 hour before it actually hit the glacier that sunk it, it received at least 3 wires warning it to reroute. And they ignored it because it could never sink. 1 hour before, within that hour, before it hit that glacier, it had gotten 3 wire warnings that it should reroute. Before this nation was passed on from the white forefathers on to their posterity, they were warned. They received a wire from the so-called founding fathers of this nation, and they were warned not to allow any centralized banking system to take over the money picture. It was not a black Democrat that ignored the wire. It was a white Republican named Nixon. And he took America off the gold standard, allowing the centralized banking system, the world bankers, to print America's money. Rothschild said, "Let me control the money picture, and I could give a fuck who makes the laws. What white man is in the Oval Office? He don't give a fuck about you lames. White people are not in the establishment. I don't care how rich they are. They identify with the establishment. It's Zionist Jews that run that game." In high school, I've been out since '91. In high school, I learned that the loudest person in the room is the most insecure. And that the most aggressive is the weakest. Arrogance, which most Americans are, or should I say arrogant, which most Americans are, is not confidence. It's overcompensation. You have to be arrogant. How else can you not see that half of the boat that represents America is already in the water? You have to walk around arrogant. But India can see it. That's why in India they have something known as the 47 rule. You ever wonder why when you call to get your bills squared away and you find yourself talking to an Indian, why they're so patient with your arrogant ass? Listen, lady, I can't even understand you. I mean, what the hell? I'm just trying to get my things situated, and here I am talking to you. What the hell? And you're going through all these like a child, a snotty-nosed kid. You ever wonder why they're so patient with you? It's not because they're inferior to you. On the contrary, in corporate India, those people are taught the 47 rule. Do your research. They're actually superior to you. That's why they're so patient. Because love is patient. You wouldn't know anything about that. That's why you're so nasty when you're on the phone. If your people had taken care of their business, an Indian wouldn't be taking care of your business. If your people had been taking care of their business, an Asian wouldn't be taking care of your business. A third world country wouldn't be making all of your so-called third world, wouldn't be making all of your products. That's because those are the emerging markets. And half of your ship is already sunk. But you're too arrogant to see that. So in India, they're patient because they're taught in India something that's a fact. That the average American, age 35 to 40, has the emotional, psychological, and spiritual level of understanding as a 7-year-old in India. They know that they're talking to a 7-year-old on the other side, on the other end of the line. This is what they're taught, and they're correct. In the Bible, it warns anybody willing to listen to come out of her. A submarine from China or some other place did not sink the Titanic. It was arrogance that sunk it. Not listening to the warnings. Before any great ship in history, and I'm speaking on an allegorical level, before any great ship sinks, God always, whatever name you want to call it, he, she, I don't even care, always raises first a warner, a wire, to warn the people before they hit the glacier, to change, to reroute. Every time before a ship sinks, they get a warning. That warning is called a prophet. And the prophet's duty is not to judge, it's to warn the people. That's what prophets do. They send a wire before, because they can see what the arrogant people can't see. The Bible says to come out of her. Come out of her, the virgin daughter of Babylon, before she hits the glacier, because it's just up ahead. This is a spiritual warning. Come out of her. Your concepts that are rooted in Americana are going to sink you with it. Come out of her, because there isn't another country that has sank America. American arrogance, white arrogance, is what sunk this country. And I think it's also interesting that the Titanic sank in the same ocean where the white man threw over 115 million of my ancestors overboard of slave ships during the transatlantic slave trade.